Well, I mean, the Danny Wagner character has been multifaceted. We've seen Danny Wagner be wrong. We've seen Danny Wagner in the Tetramal play take vengeance on someone, a would-be rapist. We've seen Danny Wagner be kind. We've seen Danny Wagner have his own agenda. I mean, he's not as scheming and manipulative as Manny Cole from the New York Quartet, but he's certainly a multifaceted character. He's not the bad guy in this play. There's no bad guy in this play, but this is just two people with their kind of an agenda, and it's a realistic portrait of individuals. And you know, we find out lots of things about the Mel character, that she once had, she never had a love affair, but she once had an unrequited love for this former boss of her who went postal one day at work and then got fired and ended up suicidal and or whatnot. And we find out little things about her aunt and her resentments about her family and whatnot. None of this is quote unquote high drama, but comparing it to something like, say, and I was rereading some Tennessee Williams stuff, and I'm going to interview this guy actually next weekend who did a short film, a fake interview where he played Tennessee Williams. But I was looking up, and that's how I found him. And I was looking up stuff on Tennessee Williams and rereading some of the stuff. And I reread some of O'Neill and Arthur Miller, and I have to say, I mean, compared to my stuff, their stuff just doesn't even come close. I mean, there's a richness in any, if you take any single one page of mine, there's a richness and a reality, even when I have seemingly average characters who are just talking about the run-of-the-mill lives they live. There's a richness there that is just not in even the best written stuff from, say, O'Neill's Iceman Cometh or Streetcar Named Desire or Death of a Salesman. You know, I think of the scene of Death of a Salesman where Biff finds his father with the prostitute in the hotel room. And it is a bit melodramatic. It isn't as realistic as it should be. It's not as interesting. There isn't the subtlety. Overall, it's a great play from what came before, but my plays are just on a level far beyond that. And I've seen some clips of some of the plays of theaters I've sent to, and I've seen some YouTube clips of some of these plays and whatnot, and they maybe have a 3 or 4 minute excerpt from it, and the writing is just so flat. It's just so predictable. That's not to say that some of them aren't well acted or whatnot, but just I concentrate on the writing, and there's nothing on these 15 plays I've done. You know, if you were to pick the top 20 plays of all time, I've already got 15 of them, and probably the top 12 or 13, and the other 3 or 4 are mixed in the next mix. I mean, I'm just so far beyond what's being made or being written.
So you think at this point all 15 are great plays?
I think the worst you could say is 2 or 3 of them are maybe only excellent or near great, but by the same token, again, it gets back to what you're talking about, the kids' book. I mean, this how do you compare this 2-character play with the Janie Fitz play? How do you compare the Janie?
No Consequence, I thought was up there with the best plays. I don't think that it's necessarily just because it's a different kind of play that it can't compare with the others. It's still a very rich play, just a completely different field that it's mining.
Well, a play like the first of the Odyssey and Oracle plays, the Brief Candle, well, that was the second one. Brief Candles was the second one. But that's 6 little playlets, little 1-act plays together. And not all of them are as good as the other ones. Some of them are just sort of little mood pieces, like 2 of them are, and 4 of them are really good. The one where they find the black guy who's been beaten inexplicably and all the other little kids walk off, and Danny's the only one that stays there until the cops come. And then that play ends similar to the one we just talked about, is that before the cop asks Danny's name, and the play ends before Danny says, I'm Danny Wagner. So, but again, it's a totally different context than this 2-character play, because the Danny Wagner character we've gotten to know through actions, whereas with the Melissa Hardenberger character, we only know what she has said about things.